Are you tired of wasting time on entertainment that doesn't bring you a sense of community? Do you feel like people are trying to force you to take a side in this silly culture war? Does your media have you feeling too conservative, too woke, too religious, too heathenous, not enough whatever, like a freak? That's because you're not a caricature. You're a real person. You're messy, and you don't fit into a box. Good news, we're freaks too.
Would you like to melt your stress away? Get connected to a community of other misfits? Maybe listen to the misfits? Stop feeling like a lonely outsider surrounded by people trying to enlist you in a war you want no part of. Become a contented member of a community that requires only that you live your best life and leave others to live theirs.
Feel a sense of belonging while opting out of the culture war. This is Peace Freaks. Welcome, everyone, to another fine episode of Peace Freaks. I am Nikki P here, as always, with my lovely wife and co-host, Lizzie. How are we doing there, baby?
Awesome.
Are we doing awesome?
Sure, why not?
Or are we just saying that until, faking it until we make it?
I mean, I like to think of it as a learning opportunity.
We have a lot of learning opportunities in life.
A lot of those.
Just keeps pouring them on.
Just slathering them. It's great.
Yep, just like fucking rubbing them right on in. So we have a fun episode today. We're going to be talking to Mr. Matthew Bankert.
Very cool, dude.
Very fun musician type guy. Good old anti-war boy. You may have heard him on such fabulous podcasts as the Bob Murphy Show, or he was also on the Foreign Policy Focus at one point with Mr. Kyle Anzalone.
Oh yeah.
Both previous guests of this podcast.
Also true.
It's been a wild couple years doing this.
Hasn't it though? It's been a good ride. I'm excited for what happens next.
What does happen next?
I don't know, but I choose to believe it's going to be good.
I'm just thinking to myself about that moment in the what is it, the Impossibles?
Okay.
Or the Incredibles, that's what it is.
Oh yeah, The Incredibles.
Yeah, and the little kid's standing out at the end of the road, and the guy's like, "What are you waiting for?" He's like, "I don't know, something amazing."
It was pretty cute.
That's one of my favorite scenes ever in a movie, because I feel like that's what my whole life is just waiting for something amazing.
Right?
I just keep taking the lumps and doing the things and working the, what do you call it? Working the steps, as they say.
Right, yeah. Paying your dues, blah, blah, blah.
Yep, and just one of these days something's gonna hit. Could it be Peace Freaks? Is it gonna be some crazy environmentalism podcast? I don't know. I don't know what the next step is.
You just never know, so you got to keep taking steps.
So we've had a wild run lately, personally. How are you feeling about things with the podcast, Liz?
I'm excited about the podcast. It has been an endless source of growth opportunities for me, and I appreciate those.
What kind of growth?
I mean, besides getting from the point where I could actually speak to people in a semi-normal manner without, completely freaking out and just like, oh my gosh, they hate me because I said hi instead of hello.
They probably do, but that's their problem, not yours.
Yeah, right. If they even thought about what you said after you said it. But also just, it's given me an outlet to hone skills, to develop skills, and kind of recognize that I'm developing skills. We were just talking about that today, that I've had a bad habit of sort of like, oh, well, yeah, I do this thing, but not really paying attention to the fact that I do this thing, and that thing involves skills that I could probably apply to other things and possibly, make my life better.
Is like managing email? Because if that's one of your skills, you can totally take it over from me. It's so fucking annoying.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty popular one to outsource for sure.
I'll outsource everything as soon as I can. Anyways, so I'd like to remind everyone that Liz does fantastic show notes over at peacefreaks.com. Spell it whichever of the ways you want to, because they both end up the same place, because URLs aren't that expensive. In fact, you should go buy all the URLs that you can. If you don't own your name, you're fucking up at life, frankly. If you go there, you get the fantastic show notes Liz does, or you could also hit up upgradetheshow.com if you think that we're killing it and you want us to kill it even more.
You just want to support us and stuff?
Yep, I would like to advertise and try and grow the show and build that community of, people that are not exactly excited about everybody trying to make them be boxed into a little tiny shoebox.
Right.
Or maybe even a jewelry box. Feels like a jewelry box to me most days. And that's not just because I'm a fat guy. And most things feel like jewelry boxes to me. So there is that. Anyways, let's get right into this interview, because I'm gonna have to cut down pretty heavy anyways.
Okay.
It was a long one.
Enjoy.
Welcome, Matt, to Peace Freqs. How are we doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you all doing?
Good.
It's a weird day at work, and I'm home happy to be recording stuff.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
We were redoing our recording setup when we, right before you signed on. So I was actually okay you were a little late.
Okay, perfect.
Normally I have my my Zoom recorder set up, but Windows updated and it's being a pain in my butt.
Yeah.
It's just weird because now we're on 2 separate channels, so I hear him talking in like the room, and then I hear it in my headphones. It's like it's odd.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's annoying. Yeah. Nice delay.
But it's way less annoying than the that I was getting because Windows decided to screw up my drivers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
'Cause
I think
that's
I've
what-
heard that sound.
Because that's what happens every time Windows updates drives.
That sounds like the sound from Dumb and Dumber, the most annoying sound in the world.
It's actually worse because it's at volume.
Yeah.
Were we just talking about them? Farrelly Brothers? Is that a Farrelly Brothers movie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Because I was talking to somebody about the movie Stuck on Me, and like how much I kind of liked it and how much people sort of hate it now. And I'm like, it's a Farrelly Brothers movie. Those aren't smart films. They're just they are what they are.
No.
In fairness,
Except for the Green Book. That was a little bit smarter.
That's right.
But that was
That's
just one
kinda-
of the brothers, I think.
Yeah, probably.
one of the Fairleys was involved with that. That's weird.
It is. It is totally weird. Yeah, he was the director. Peter? I don't remember.
Dude, you're blowing my mind.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to know about that book, right, Liz?
Well, it was a cultural thing, so I mean, theoretically, yeah, we should know.
Well, it's one of those race things, right?
It was essentially the brown people's guide to places you can go across the country and they won't be assholes to you. So yeah,
Well, I know, but you and me are specifically supposed to be into that kind of stuff, right?
I guess. I don't know. I mean, I think there is some sort of website or something kind of maintaining that tradition to a certain extent.
Weird. So, what do you do, Matt? Let's repivot this back to you, the guy who was actually on the show. Me and Liz.
I know. Jeez.
Hey, no, I'm just here connected to you all, just having a conversation. So, whatever.
So, what do you do exactly aside from being BFFs with Bob Murphy and Kyle Anzalone before me?
Yeah. I'm super tight with those guys, of course. By day, I'm a software developer. And by night, I am a husband and father of 3 younger children. And actually, part of the reason I was late is we just finished watching Frozen 2.
Oh God.
So that was good. Sorry if that insults your hipster sensibilities, but
Well, coincidentally, if you weren't aware, that one guy from Panic at the Disco and Weezer both redid versions of that songs in the soundtrack for it.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
Weezer one's actually not too bad.
Yeah. I enjoyed the Weezer one. I wasn't expecting that when I saw it, and then heard Rivers start singing, and I was like, I know this guy. This is
I
awesome.
expect him to make whatever cash grab he can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been around him long enough to know he'll do anything for money.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah. They are all over the.
Which is funny because Rivers is a big, he strikes me as like a capitalist in his business, but he was born on a commune.
I heard something about that, like a Buddhist commune or something.
Well, no, he was Buddhist later on in life. He was
Okay.
he was actually born on a legit Bernie Sanders style commune.
Nice. Okay. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, his mom, that's why his name is Rivers, which doesn't sound as weird until you know his brother's name is Leaves.
Yeah, that's right. I found out about that.
They're Connecticut folk.
That's great. Yeah, they are. I mean, Weezer's definitely been over the decades one of my favorites for a while. But they've gone through so many twists and turns. I mean, their latest album was it was like just
Terrible.
like pop. Yeah. Which could be synonymous, but there were a few songs I thought were decent on there, but I don't know. It just wasn't for me.
Scam, Matt. See,
Yeah, well, that's how they get you.
they put one good song on each record, and that's like I have all, but I think the newest record, everything they've ever released, because they sucked me into that one song.
Yeah, and then you tell yourself, I know it's just this one song. I know that this album's not going to be that great, but maybe this time will be different. And you buy it, and then you're wrong.
There's always the hope that I'm going to get another Pinkerton, and then I never get it.
And I'm not one of those guys that's like, play the old stuff. Every album you make has to sound like Pinkerton or the Blue Album. I'm okay if artists evolve, but sometimes they try something new and they just miss the mark. And
Do you think it's
I
Matt
think
Sharp?
that's kind of what they're doing. I don't know. I mean, I think they made. Let's see, he was on there only through Pinkerton, right?
Yep.
Because I mean, I think they had some good albums after that, but
Which ones? Because they had some okay albums.
the Green Album. What are your views on that?
Green Album is a good album, not a great album, and that is the second bass player. He actually died, and then they brought in the current guy.
Oh gosh, I didn't realize he died.
If I remember correctly, he killed himself
Ooh,
and left a family behind. It was really
It's rough. Yeah.
that's super rough. Jeez, no, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize they had some tragedy mixed in there.
well, what are you gonna do? I guess.
Yeah.
So, how did you find your way to this whole little Liberty world of things? I guess.
Well, I think like most people, I'll go with the cliche that it was Ron Paul in kind of around 2008, 2009. I think I came around probably after the 2008 election. I came around kind of just too late to actually vote for him. But I read his book, The Revolution, because my brother-in-law lent it to me, and a lot of this stuff just made so much sense. I think before then, in the when the U.S. started invading Iraq, in I guess it was 2003, it just didn't make a lot of sense to me. I think I was basically brought up a fairly like moderate conservative household, Republican household, and I didn't really think about politics too much. But then when that happened, I mean, all the Republicans were for it. And I was just thinking, this doesn't really make much sense. I mean, sure, Saddam Hussein might be bad, but do we have enough manpower to invade every country that has a bad person in charge? And so that kind of stuck with me for a while. And then when I saw Ron Paul up on the debate stage in the 2008 campaign, and he was saying all this anti-war stuff, I just thought it was really bizarre. I was thinking he must be a liberal or something, because they're the only people that I think would be anti-war. But then I got more in tune with his views, and I was like, this guy is definitely not liberal, because he's pro-life and like all this other stuff. So he just kind of blew my mind. I didn't know that there was this option of libertarian until getting familiar with his stuff, and then just kind of followed the rabbit hole from there.
Interesting. And how does the whole politics thing fit in with your life? Obviously, you got a wife and a bunch of kids. Does that get in the way?
Yeah. Now, do you mean the politics get in the way, or do you mean they get in the way of my politics?
You answer that however you want to.
Okay. No, I would say politics for me is kind of a hobby. I think if somebody were to ask me what my politics were, I would probably say something like, I think I'd rather have as few politics as possible, because this stuff that really matters in life is family and the things that the arts that we like, music, whatever we're into. That's the most important thing. If I have to be political, it's sort of a means of self-defense against whatever the government is trying to do to kind of disrupt the life that I would like to have. So I definitely am a family first kind of person. I think politics is kind of interesting to follow, and I definitely appreciate a lot of libertarian messages. Of course, I'm really interested in the libertarian political philosophy, because I think it makes the most sense. It's the most just. It's the most consistent. But I'm not one of those people that would like go out of my way to to campaign for something, or to try to get into office, because I don't. Politics is more a means to an end. If anything, it's not an end for me. I don't know if that makes sense.
I like this idea and the way you said it. What is the ideal life for you?
The ideal life?
Yeah, the one that you don't want politics getting in the way of.
Well, I mean, in a lot of ways, I think I'm living my ideal life in a lot of ways with my family, raising my kids, going to work. I do wish I didn't have to have a ton of my income taken away and have annoying things. Like I live in Maryland, and it really just irks me that for some just strange asinine law that I haven't been able to track down yet, we don't allow the sale of beer in grocery stores. Just little things like that just get on my nerves. It's like, and I go to vacation in Virginia or North Carolina sometimes, and they sell beer in their grocery stores. It's just so much more convenient. You just go to the beer aisle, get the beer you want. So stuff like that annoys me. I would rather my ideal life would have less of that kind of random stuff. But I'm pleased, I guess, that they haven't taken away too much of the things I like yet. But they're doing their best.
Interesting. So how old are the kids you got?
They are 3, 5, and 7.
Nice.
Aw.
Yeah.
Put work in there. Got it done quick.
Yeah. We were on a schedule, and we
I like that he said on a schedule, not that they had a schedule, so which means there's more to come, Liz.
Well, I don't know.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I'm
Those seem
not.
like fun ages.
Oh, they definitely are. They're all girls, so they're
Aw.
pretty tight with each other.
Okay, so
and,
Frozen 2 was a big deal then.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the beauty of that is, though? It's going to go away. Because you know what my daughter said to me yesterday?
What's that?
I mean, I liked it when it happened, but now that I know, I'm okay with it. She's done with it, Liz.
Wow.
She's moved past it.
Yeah.
Thank God. Thank God.
Wow. I don't know that we've gotten to that point yet.
She saw it about a month ago, so
Wow.
maybe, hopefully, with any luck, it'll go away in your world too.
Yeah. It might be a while. I know that the 3-year-old is really going strong. She doesn't realize it's called Frozen. She calls it Let It Go. But
right.
That's okay. And how old is your daughter?
She'll be 6 in March.
She'll be 6. Okay. Yeah. It's I think the older one, I think she might be kind of losing interest a little bit, but we'll see.
It's always fun.
It is. Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
Ego dissolution through neurochemistry, resonance frequencies altered. Reality is alive, macrocosmic mind. When you face totality, you will see floodgates open, overwhelmed. Here where language fails.
So, how did you start doing jingles and get into that world? You said you're a computer geek, right?
Yeah, I kind of came into that a little bit later in life, but I don't know. I actually in college I majored in radio production just because I thought that would be fun, and what I didn't think about was how difficult it is to get a job in radio production. So I ended up just going into some other really boring career, and then kind of worked my way over to computer programming, because I like the kind of engineering aspect of that. And
When did you graduate college? I'm curious.
2000. I was class of 03, and but I graduated a semester early because I had some credits under my belt already.
Okay, so it's inaccurate to say that it's a difficult job to get. It's more accurate to say that unless you want to work minimum wage.
Yeah, that's another aspect. Yeah.
Because I also have a media management and production degree.
Do you? Okay.
And I
Good for
found
you.
the same thing getting out. I'm like, oh, there's no jobs unless I want to work minimum wage.
Right. Another drawback for me was at that age, I wasn't driven. I just figured a job was just going to come into my lap. I think I sent out like 2 or 3 resumes, which I'm sure were terrible resumes that I put together, and didn't hear anything. And I was like, okay, well, what's next? Like barely tried at all.
Well, that's the false bill of goods they sold us.
Right. It definitely is.
They told us that was going to be easy. You can go to high school, you go to college, and then the job. It's just there waiting for you.
Right. And that's what I thought for some reason. But yeah, not quite true.
So I'm curious what your thoughts are as another musician and certainly somebody within the liberty movement. Why is it that commies make all the good liberty music?
Yeah, I really don't know. I mean, bands like Rage Against the Machine, and we were talking about Bob Dylan before, how he might have some commie sympathies, but also has some great liberty themes in his songs. Anti-Flag is another great one. Punk band who they've got to be like anarcho commies or something. Definitely not capitalists.
Not in the least.
But I don't know. I don't know if maybe they're just more. Maybe the commies are maybe more prone to get into the arts and spread their message that way. And I don't know. Maybe the libertarians just haven't really gotten into that as much, or at least like capitalist sympathetic people haven't really gotten into the arts as much. I don't know. The commies just they're just kind of dominating it.
So, how long have you been a musician?
Let's see. I think I started playing guitar when I was in maybe early high school. I don't remember exactly when.
Nice late bloomer like me too. I started when I went to college personally, but
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. I mean, when I went to college, you were nobody if you didn't have a guitar or if you couldn't play like a couple chords. Like, no way you were going to get any girls or anything.
it made picking up. It was like the cheat code. I was explaining to somebody the other day. It's like a game genie of picking up women in college.
There you go.
Like I'm never been handsome, but man, you pop that guitar in, I'd walk away with other guys' girls.
You're just like you're the guy that plays guitar. Then
I literally walked in and a buddy of mine was like showing a girl something on this computer, and I walked out with her out of his room. I'm pretty proud of that. Much love, Tony.
He probably still remembers that.
I'm sure he does because she was quite attractive.
good old college days.
What is it? This reminds me of that like, and Frisky Dingo is like, yeah, the old Wendell ran his pineapple through quite a few ladies.
Frisky Dingo. I haven't thought about that show in a while.
I love that show.
That's a new one to me. I haven't heard of that one.
What's your favorite cartoon, Matt?
Favorite cartoon? Oh gosh, it's hard to pick a favorite. I really liked the kind of growing up in the 90s. I liked the Animaniacs, Pinky and the Brain.
Oh, nice.
That was great. I really loved The Tick. I don't know if you've heard of that. I was into comic books, and The Tick is kind of this comic book satire.
Did you watch the Amazon show?
Yes, I have watched a little bit of. I'm started season 2, and it's good, but I feel like it's a little lacking, to be honest. I feel like they could do more.
It's better than the made-for-TV one.
Yeah,
I gotta say, I think the cartoon is my favorite version of the Tick. Still,
yeah,
I never got a chance to do the comics, so
yeah. I didn't have that many of the comics. I think by the time I discovered it, they were too expensive because I don't know, they were kind of obscure when they first came out, and then the value went way up. So I didn't feel like spending that much on them. But yeah, I did. I loved the cartoon too. I thought the scripts of the cartoon I thought were really good. The dialogue and everything was great. Looking back, I watched some of the old ones. The animation quality isn't really that good. Like there's all these weird kind of jerky parts where things just don't really flow that well. But I thought I liked the writing of it, at least.
it worked well for our generation, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think the X-Men animation is all that good too, but
That's true. That is very true.
I think it's just that early Fox era animation.
Yeah.
Eek the
I think
Cat,
they've come a long way. Yeah, Eek the Cat. Oh man, I loved Eek the Cat.
Bobby's World.
Yeah. My actually my sister still has an email address that has like this like a reference to Eek the Cat, which is awesome.
That is awesome.
It was a big part of our family.
How about, let's see how far back it goes. Do you remember Camp Candy?
I don't know anything about that one.
Yeah, I do remember that one. I don't know that I watched it that much.
I don't think it lasted very long, but
Had John Candy in it.
Oh, good Lord.
Rest in peace.
he ran
Aw.
a summer camp, Liz.
Wow. Okay. Right on.
It was specifically a vehicle for John Candy.
Sounds about right.
Okay. So, do you have a favorite band? What's your favorite type of music? What do you gravitate towards? Obviously, some of the stuff I like we have in common. So
Yeah, I branch out. I put my tentacles out to like just about any type of form of rock. If I had a favorite band, I would say I would say my two favorite bands, 1 and 2, would be Led Zeppelin and then Metallica, if I had to pick two. And I think Led Zeppelin became my favorite after I saw a concert DVD that got released like long after their career was over, like maybe the early mid 2000s. There was this whole big concert anthology, and just blew me away. And so yeah,
is that the song remains the same?
I don't think so. I think it's
Your
after
3 or
that
4
one.
disc
I don't
set.
even know. I think it's just called Led Zeppelin. It's like a 4 or 5 disc set. It has like desert sands on the cover of it. I don't even know if it's what it's called.
Interesting.
I'll have to look it up for the show notes.
Yeah, it's highly recommend it if you're into that kind of stuff. I mean, a lot of that stuff from the 70s is kind of kitschy and kind of predictable. But I don't know. I think Zeppelin is kind of in a league their own.
All right. So who is the most important member of that band?
Jimmy Page.
Interview over. Just done.
Oh gosh.
Jimmy Page, really? Look, John Paul Jones is all that mattered.
Yeah. I've heard that. I've heard other people make that claim, and I don't want to diss John Paul Jones at all. But
Okay.
I just it could be that I'm just unaware of his contributions.
Here's the thing.
Okay, tell me.
Okay. So it's 2008. What are Jimmy Page and Robert Plant doing? Playing with Alison Krauss? Doing
Right.
shitty country music that's selling at Cracker Barrel? And what's Robert Plant doing? Or what's
Sorry. I did kind of like that Alison Krauss album. Not all of it. My wife likes it too, so I kind of have to like it. But I did think there were some decent songs on it. But no, please continue.
So what's John Paul Jones doing? Them crooked vultures.
Yeah, them crooked vultures.
Which is
yeah.
far better than Alison Krauss. No matter what your opinion is.
Yeah.
Mostly because it was
say I agree.
relevant.
Yeah. That was impressive to me. I have to say, for the star power that was on that album with Josh Homme and Dave Grohl, I was a little disappointed. Maybe my expectations were too high, but I do think that was. I mean, just that collaboration was amazing that they did that.
I think being able to get heavy hitters like that to collaborate is amazing in and of itself, I guess.
Yeah.
That's like a too many cooks scenario that worked out as good as it could.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Like House of the Holy, like that's some John Paul Jones kind of stuff. Or No Quarter. Quarter is all John Paul.
Well, he mainly did their keyboards. Is that right?
Well, he's their bass player, but he did all the keyboard
Right.
stuff and the bass.
Yeah.
And you can hear his bass playing all over the riffs on them Crooked Vultures.
Yeah. No, he's a phenomenal bassist for sure. I mean, just even Zeppelin's early stuff, Good Times, Bad Times. I mean, the bass on there is just phenomenal, and then some of the later stuff like Trampled Underfoot, kind of their like disco funk song. I mean,
I love that one.
He's doing like the keyboards and the bass. I mean, it's awesome.
Now, what are your thoughts that Zeppelin is a glorified cover band? I mean, when the levee breaks, let's just put it there.
Yeah. Now, if they are a cover band, I think you could definitely say they're a cover band in the sense that, of course, they're doing these old blues standards. They do the kind of covers I like. Then, in that sense, I like when somebody does a cover and they kind of
Reinvent it.
Yeah. But at the same time, for songs like a folk song or a blues song, I mean, in a sense, I mean, not even you can't even get sued for copyright for those. I mean, those are kind of fair game because they're just old traditional songs, and if someone taking that and making it relevant for a new generation, I think is kind of is a real original contribution itself. So I don't know.
How about Stairway to Heaven? Do you think they copied that off that other band?
Oh yeah, what was that? What was the other band?
I'll have Liz put it in there. I can't remember their name offhand.
And that's the funny thing, that we can't even remember the name of the other band. So
well, they were. That's the thing. That band was never popular. Like they never took off. They were nobody.
Right.
But maybe if they'd barely released Stairway to Heaven, they
Stairway-
would have been.
I
It's
remember
hard to
thinking.
believe.
I heard that, and I remember thinking, this is just a bunch of crap. These guys are just trying to look for money. There's no way this song sounds like Stairway to Heaven. So I went and listened to the original song, and then thought to myself, okay, that does sound a little bit like Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
When I'm like you. I'm normally one that's like, I'm sure this is bullshit. Like so many people take credit for it. Like that whole Pharrell, Robin Thicke.
Oh yeah.
They screwed them over. Fuck Marvin Gaye's fame.
But, you know,
Yeah, I mean, with this other band though, Stairway to Heaven, I mean, it may be Led Zeppelin's best known song, but it's not their only song. I mean, they didn't get famous off of that song. I mean, if this other band couldn't make it, I mean, it sounds like they probably just weren't as good.
They weren't. I'll give them that.
You know, you can't just stake your whole career on one song. I mean, come on, guys.
Well, but if you only have that once, you never get the chance to do another.
Yeah,
I mean, if without Stairway, would Zeppelin have ever been anything?
I think I think so. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't until their fourth album, so I think they had already started. You know,
I'm just playing games with you over here. I was gonna
Okay.
see if you caught that.
okay.
I'm pulling hipster crowd here. Let's see if this Joker even knows where that album comes out.
Can't play games with me.
is that what that was?
And personally, I think that's the worst song on that record. I don't even like Stairway to Heaven. Like, I think it's
Yeah, I'm
overrated
kind of tired
song.
of it. Little connection here. I came to this conclusion independently, but there are at least two other people on YouTube that also came to the conclusion that melody in Frozen 2 is the same melody from Stairway to Heaven.
Oh,
The-
interesting.
That like the fifth spirit voice,
Yeah.
there's that part in the breakdown in Stairway to Heaven at the end of the guitar solo. It has that same melody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is intriguing because our daughter has been watching the fan theories videos, so she'll be
Nice.
really excited to hear another fan theory.
I made a video about it and demonstrated how it totally fits. So that I am one of the 3 YouTube videos out there that have pointed that out.
I gotta put that link in the show notes. Then I'm intrigued now.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, those bands from the 70s were getting ripped off left and right.
Yeah. Now, and I will say for the record, I don't think that's cool to take some other band's music blatantly and say, "Oh, this is mine." I don't think that's cool. I mean,
This guy's not an ANCAP then.
Yeah.
Oh, for Pete's sake! Here we go.
He's not
Yeah.
not paying attention to Kinsella. That's all I know.
Well, you know, Kinsella and IP notwithstanding, I mean, I think it's kind of not cool to, I mean, using like a borrowing a theme from somebody as kind of like a tribute to them, I think is one thing, but to like copy someone's song and not, and like do it as if it's your own. I don't know.
Okay.
Um,
So,
How do I
Phantom
feel
of the
about
Opera.
that's an opera or something, I think.
Phantom of the Opera? Do you feel that is a...
Or no, that's the Andrew Lloyd Webber.
Yeah, but they ripped it up something that like big riff in the big song.
the
they ripped
iconic
off
riff?
Something. What was it? I forget now.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Yeah. Okay.
Echoes.
Oh, Pink Floyd. Okay. I think I know what you're talking about.
Da-na-na-na-na.
Yeah, right. Okay. I never made that connection.
Yeah, hopefully you're not listening to that much
Ah.
Andrew Lloyd Webber.
No, I can't say that I am.
Don't be hating.
What would I have if not for my hate? Nothing. How's it going? This is Nikki P, and I wanted to thank you for stopping by our neck of the woods. I sure hope you enjoyed listening to Peace Freaks as much as we enjoy making it. Now, as much fun as it is right now, I know it can be a lot more fun, and the way to make it more fun is to grow that community. Unfortunately for us, growing anything organically on the internet is a thing of the past, and as much as I'd like to dump Irma's college fund into growing the show, that would make me a bad parent. So if you want to help create a bigger, more badass community, stop by upgradetheshow.com. We have monthly and yearly fiat options and one-time and yearly crypto options. But don't go thinking an upgraded community is all you're going to get. All patrons of the show get access to the Freedom Choir, chock full of bonus shows, and our Zoom link to watch our interviews live. So head over to upgradetheshow.com and help us upgrade this freaky little community. What are your thoughts, Liz? You've been awfully quiet today.
I just trying to chime in when I've got something to add to the conversation. I don't know. I appreciate the conversation. I just Zeppelin's not really my thing. Like I had a Metallica moment, but it wasn't a very long one.
Oh, that's right. So why Metallica? Out of all the metal of that era, like Metallica is where you go. Why not Megadeth or Slayer? Anthrax.
Slayer. Yeah. I mean they all have their place. I don't know. I think Metallica is for me, Metallica, I think is just more of maybe a coming of age thing. I just kind of grew up with I think I first noticed them when Load came out. Remember that one?
That's
And
way late in the career. Wow.
yeah, that's way late. So that was my first exposure to them. I was like, oh, these are great hard rock guys. I wasn't like screaming and like thrash metal. That was kind of anathema to me. I just couldn't get into that. And then I went to college and met this guy who was all about thrash metal. He's this incredible metal guitarist and was in this metal band and was playing all this thrash stuff. He was playing old Metallica for me. I was like, this is kind of cool, but still way too fast. Why are they playing so fast? But eventually, I just came to completely embrace it. So definitely the early era Metallica is among my favorite. But yeah, I don't know. I've gotten more into Megadeth, which I love their 80s stuff too. And Slayer I like. I don't know. I haven't listened to them as much as some other stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Metallica, I don't know. They just have a personal place in my heart for some reason.
What is your current like favorite Metallica album if you had to recommend one?
I think my favorite one is Ride the Lightning.
Respectable.
I will say even their recent ones, I mean, for being like in their 50s, I think their recent albums, I guess Death Magnetic and then Hardwired were decent.
They're not in their 80s?
Well, they will be before too long. And then I'm curious what their thrash is going to sound like when they're in their 80s.
Saint Anger.
Oh,
yeah.
Shots fired.
We don't have to bring that up.
Okay.
I mean, it happened.
It did happen. We can't pretend like it didn't.
I was really into Muse when it came out, so there's that.
Muse. Okay. Yeah. No, Muse is awesome. We're talking the band Muse, right?
Yeah, they used to be better, but fame will do that to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I really liked Drones. Lots of nice libertarian themes on there.
We have at least one song on my big Freedom Song 365 project. I can't remember. That's just for the record. That's why I was so upset when you went on Bob Murphy's show.
Oh no!
Because you walked down there with a top 10 list.
Yeah.
And behind a paywall, me and two of my friends were doing Freedom Song 365. Where every day we put out a page and a different song with a liberty themed message.
That's an awesome project. Sorry I ruined it.
It's like, God damn it. I got this giant list that I can't talk about it. It is actually out from behind the paywall. So people listening, please go check it out. I spent way too much time. Liz can vouch. Way too much.
Yeah. Well, I hear you. I've been trying to do like a Spotify playlist. I heard like, cause I have my own music and I heard as a strategy for promoting your own music, you can be sneaky and make a Spotify playlist and then just sneak one of your songs on the playlist. No one will notice. And then all of a sudden you'll get 1,000 plays. That has not happened yet, but I've also spent way too much time compiling like libertarian themed songs. So I'm going to have to go look at your project and then steal a bunch of your songs again. So I can just,
there's 365 of them.
There you go.
Okay.
Because he did one every day. We could put the playlist in the show notes if that's still going on.
Sure. Yeah.
I wonder if it's one of the ones that we copped.
You copped a playlist.
You know how hard it was to crowdsource 365 libertarian themed songs?
So you guys are just recycling the same lists back and forth.
Yeah. Basically. Just slap a different name on it.
No, because none of them are that big. Most of them hit around like 80 songs, and they're all the same 80.
Right.
It took getting
Yeah.
really creative. Like I actually tied Walter Block into Belinda Carlisle. So
What's the Belinda Carlisle song? That sounds familiar.
Nobody Owns Me.
Okay.
To which we actually tied it to his theory of being able to sell yourself into slavery.
Yeah. Oh, that Walter. Yeah. Let's see. I put the Aretha Franklin song on my playlist. Think, because it's just the chorus is just her singing freedom, freedom, freedom. I'm not going to try to imitate it.
Nice.
We could try and get you to do what our one guest did, have you sing songs with one lyrics to a different song's melody. He had us do a bunch of like pop songs to Christmas music.
Yeah. Okay. That was a recent one. I think I heard you all doing that.
Probably the craziest episode we've ever put out. I love Doceliar. He's an interesting person. It's how it happens when you meet people on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is where all the interesting people congregate for sure.
So if you have like one song that you think kind of really encapsulates everything that is libertarianism, what's that song?
Oh, geez. I'm not sure that song has been written yet. Everything that's libertarianism. What would that be?
Yeah, that's a pretty deep question there.
Yeah. Jeez.
I'm expecting Matt to have just like written a soundtrack to the audiobook of Conceived in Liberty.
Okay.
Okay. Well, now you're stealing my thunder. That was my secret project that I had going on, but not anymore.
I'm lazy, so continue it. I'm not scoring a many hour book. I scored a movie once. That's the longest project I think I'll ever do. It sucked.
Wow.
It was a lot of work.
I can't even imagine how you would do that. When I see credits for films and like such and such wrote the score, I'm like, how do you do that? You just like sit and watch it and play instruments, or
You'll sit there and you'll look at a scene and then you'll replay it and then you'll do something and then you'll go back and I don't know, a lot. Just over and fucking over. It took so much time. And then like the whole time like you're stressed out because it's somebody else's art. Like you're doing a creative thing for their art.
yeah.
Is that even on YouTube, that movie? Like anything?
I don't know. I do know that I have an IMDb credit. That's what I care about.
Oh, that's nice. That's much more than I have.
You've got all sorts of credits, though.
I've done things.
I don't know.
Nothing that's made me money, but things. You know, you just happen to know one indie film director, and next thing you know. And I don't know, why do I not know any indie horror directors? That's what I'd rather do.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're good people to know for a variety of reasons.
That's the type of movies I like. Hence why I didn't watch that one we were talking about at the beginning, because there's not enough killing in it.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And like, I don't even watch those movies because Liz won't let me.
Oh,
Well, it's
that's
not
too
that I won't let you. It's that I won't hang out with you while you do it.
bad.
I know, and you're cool, and I'd like to hang out with you.
Oh,
Right. But yeah. Oh, the Frozen. It all comes back to the Frozen.
So I'm curious, do you have a favorite rock and roll movie?
that's a good question. I don't think I've seen a lot of rock and roll movies, like documentaries, or would that count? Or like a movie about rock and roll.
It could be whatever you want. I mean, I consider Rockstar a rock and roll movie.
What about the Dewey Cox story? Is that a rock and roll movie?
It's the best, but
I'm just saying.
I missed that one, but I know which one you're talking.
Oh, you do? Yeah, it's ridiculous, but they take the story structure of Ray and they put it into this ridiculous comedic off the wall story.
Yeah, that's actually maybe I'll have to go and watch that. I remember that's jogging my memory of. I think I saw the trailer for that, and yeah, I remember they had stuff from like that Johnny Cash movie too.
yeah, it's
Right?
Walk the Line, Ray. There's a bunch of Brian Wilson stuff. Like it basically is just picking on
nice.
every like major rock star of like the past
That's awesome.
70 years.
Okay, so it's all the biopics, not just that one.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I mean, on that note, I mean, it is kind of hard to beat Spinal Tap as a rock and roll movie.
Yeah, Christopher Guest beat his own movie because he made A Mighty Wind.
Oh gosh, I haven't seen that one.
A Mighty Wind to me is actually better than This Is Spinal Tap, but Spinal Tap does get the progenitor credit. Like it created that genre, so it was only natural
Yeah.
people would make it better.
Okay. Oh, what is Mighty Wind about? I think I've heard of that, but I don't
Oh
really know
God,
it.
It's like a vocal group or something.
no, A Mighty Wind. There, it follows putting on this big folk concert. Like after somebody dies, they get all the old folk bands together. One of which, by the way, is the Folksmen, who were the band that opened for Spinal Tap,
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
which is all the same guys from Spinal Tap.
Right.
Okay.
That particular movie follows Eugene Levy and what's her name? The mom from Home Alone.
Oh God,
Oh, yeah, yeah. I know who you're talking
that
about.
lady.
Well, they played like this little duo from the 60s was the idea, where like he sits there playing guitar looking at her and she plays the auto harp looking at him.
Sounds creepy. But I imagine it's supposed to.
It's so
I think
good.
that's kind of how they did it in those days.
Well, it's
Yeah.
completely improvised, that movie, just like this is Spinal Tap and whatnot.
Mm.
So I love it. There's some seriously ridiculous stuff in there. But what is really interesting is like how many of those people are like fantastic musicians.
Hmm.
Like apparently, because it's all the same people from This Is Spinal Tap. Like you remember
Right.
the guy who played the pilot in This Is Spinal Tap?
Uh,
I can't remember what his name is, but he plays a what do you call it? Like a record executive or a guy who like did TV shows, and he's all about catchphrases and like he just talks in catchphrases to people in the movie.
yeah, I've got to see this movie. I like a lot of his other movies.
You like waiting? You
Christopher
like
Guest.
Waiting to Guffman and all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
Out
I've
of
seen a
all
bunch
his
of
stuff,
those.
it's my favorite. Like it's Waiting for Guffman's good. This is Mighty Wind's way better to me, but
Okay.
but it's also because it's all music centered, so it's all
Yeah.
like little in jokes for people that actually perform. There you go, talking about movies again.
Yep. What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna continue talking about movies. That's what I do.
Okay. Yeah, I can sign off on that.
So I'm curious. You didn't have any questions for us since you were coming on here. This is the first time we've ever actually talked to Matt. I don't like to. I like it to be fresh when we meet people. Like, hey, we're just meeting somebody for the first time. We don't never know how it's gonna go.
Yeah. I hope this hasn't gone too terribly wrong.
I'll know when the guests tell me.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know you guys at all either. So what is Nick? I understand. You're a professional musician?
Oh God, no. I mean, technically, I get paid to do it sometimes.
I think that's what makes you a professional musician on some level.
I mean,
You
if
know-
it's based on the percentage of my income on it, well, that's a different matter entirely. But I do make good money when I do it.
But you get paid. That I'm in awe of that. You get paid to make music. That's
I get-
amazing.
In fact, I get paid way
Congratulations.
better to do that than my day job.
Okay.
So it's just finding good places with deep pockets, I think.
That's awesome. So what kind of you sound like you have a lot of different musical projects. I heard your metal band, Carried by Six, which is incredible. But it sounds like that's not all you do.
I mean, I just do what's there to be done at that point in time. Like I do like pop music when I'm doing stuff. And then
Nice.
like I did like the ska instrumental for this show.
Uh-huh.
I think I'm the intro to Homesteads and Homeschools podcast. Used my song I wrote for Liz for Christmas one year.
Nice.
You know, it's so hard to make money doing music without a lot of money to promote. So,
Yeah.
you know, I don't do it much.
Yeah. Well, something I find the age of the internet is a blessing and a curse for musicians, because I think before the internet, getting promoted and getting yourself out there for people to hear was extremely difficult. Now with the internet, you can do it incredibly easy. You just put your stuff up there. Anybody that wants to can hear it. But the problem is a million other people are also doing that. So, yeah.
It's all about finding your audience, which
Yeah.
is, you know, Death from Above 1979 was a band, and I love that band. But I only happened to stumble on it, so there's that.
Uh,
You ever
Yeah.
listen to Death from Above 1979?
I think I've heard a song or two, but
Okay.
no, I haven't really given them the time of day very
They're
much yet.
an aggressive 2-piece band with a drummer and a bass player.
Okay, 2-piece. Okay, I'm intrigued. I didn't realize they were just a 2-piece band, like a White Stripes kind of thing.
But with a bass player, which
With a
is way
bass player.
cooler.
So lead bass, and we're going back to Spinal Tap.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
That's awesome.
If you really want to blow your mind and go Spinal Tap, look up the band Megachurch.
Oh God.
Okay, with a name like that, I'm definitely looking them up.
I guarantee I can make you to look them up before we even get off this meeting.
Okay.
They're a 3-piece band, a drummer, and 2 bass players, and instead of having a vocalist, they play audio clips from televangelists.
Yep. It's as bonkers as it sounds.
That sounds amazing.
So imagine like dueling guitar harmonies with was it Jimmy Swaggart over top?
Okay, yeah. I did pull them up. Yeah, their album art with a guy riding a dragon, volcano erupting, sword of fire. Yeah. Okay.
Was it they get songs like The Gay Agenda, Teabaggers?
Yeah. Battle Hymn of the Republican.
Yeah.
Oh, this is good stuff.
I'm sure their politics are well.
Yeah, that's fair. That's probably a safe guess.
Right mental attitude. Once you find the lesson in the criticism, throw off the seriousness that seems constantly to disturb our living.
Do you remember the dream?
Of only one thing at a time. Life can be a grand and glorious venture.
This is a night that must not die.
What are you thinking over there, Liz?
I was just thinking you find all sorts of just fun nuggets of weirdness in the world, and it's always nice to share them.
I love weird bands, like people that are doing interesting things. Because like especially with like I like more bass players because I feel like bass is way more important than guitar. Like it's the bottom, the thump, the good stuff, the rhythm.
I agree. I think bass is underrated. I mean, so many, especially in the more like punk or metal stuff, the bass. Lots of times it's just somebody playing with a pick, just playing like exactly what the guitar chords are or whatever. And I mean, you could do so much more with the bass. I mean, I wish bass would be higher in the mix lots of times, and that the bassists would, I don't know, do. Like John Paul Jones. Wish they'd be doing more interesting stuff like that.
That's why I love, like I said, I love Death from Above 1979 because they're like they're not doing anything groundbreaking, but the idea is it's like, well, I don't need the guitar player to play the riff. I'll just play the riff. You throw a little distortion on the bass and just throw it.
Yeah.
And especially when you double that and you've got 2 bass players. I know what I'm doing for the rest of the.
There you go.
I'm gonna go listen to Megachurch tonight.
Just go groove out. It'll be great.
That's what I'm gonna do. It's terrible. So, what do you want people to be aware of?
What do I want people to be aware of? Like in the world about anything?
Like, say I've got people listening to this show. What do you want to tell them about?
Okay. Is that a very roundabout way of asking if he has anything he'd like to plug?
It's a very roundabout way of trying to get around the echo that I'm dealing with. It's been a little unnerving.
Well, I'm really sorry about the echo.
No, that's not you. That's on our end.
Oh yeah, no, but I'm still, in sympathy. I'm trying to say, man, that echo. I'm sorry about that.
Well, and I also forgot that the computer that I have her on isn't on a hard line, so her internet connection's coming in and out too.
Yeah.
So I'm all like,
not cool.
I think we're gonna move her computer to her office now.
Heck yeah.
I mean, we can record the episodes not in the same room now, Liz.
Oh, there you go. I'm okay with that. I mean, not that I don't love being in the same room with you, but
This is what I get, Matt. This is how I do this. Just trying to get away from me. I bring her onto the podcast so we can spend time together, and then she's just trying to leave. I get it. Whatever.
Well, your next guest can be a marriage counselor, I guess. You all can,
there
work
you
it
go.
out.
We'll just straighten this whole thing right out.
I don't believe in a shrink. Like I like my messed up brain. I don't want them rewiring things up there.
Yeah. Nick, I'm going in the back of my mind trying to think of what is your question earlier that I didn't really answer about what is the most or Liberty song, if there was a song that had all the ideas. I can't remember how
We're
you worded it.
proud to be an American.
You knew the one I was going to say. That was the one.
That's awful.
I'm
No,
enough of a
I-
litigator. I bet I could explain it. Like I could make that work.
Yeah. Okay. All right, okay. Okay. I'd like to hear you. I'd like to hear you litigate that, and then I'll tell you what my idea was.
All right. So this is actually a pretty easy one because there's a trick to it. Is that song is actually about the spirit of the Revolutionary War, and it's actually the
Ooh.
spirit of the Revolutionary War that is the real American thing. People forgot what real America is actually about, which is the seed of rebellion. Alex Jones knows that spirit of 76 that they're always talking about. And if we could get back to that freedom that underlies what we're supposed to be but fall short of, well, that's what that song can be. That song represents the spirit of 76.
Slow clap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. That was great.
I had to do that 365 times last year, so if nothing else, I have an excuse. I have one hell of a skill to make ridiculous songs sound like they could be about libertarianism.
There you go.
That's not even much of a stretch. I think. Yeah. No, I'm down with that.
What's it? Iced Earth does Declaration Day is the big one that we that is that idea.
Oh, nice. Okay. I know of them, but I haven't heard that song.
Hey, if you want to know, what the most anarchist like song is in the world, I'd be surprised if you would ever mention it, but it's number one for me, and it's "Silent Running" by Mike and the Mechanics.
Was Silent Running? What was it?
"Silent Running" by Mike and the Mechanics.
Okay. No, I haven't heard that one.
You've heard it, guarantee.
Oh.
Can you hear me? I'm looking at you, Liz. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Okay, I can hear you too, for what it's worth.
Yeah,
Good song.
it is a good song.
Okay, I have to look that up.
Yeah, no, it was definitely on the charts in the 80s for a good long stretch there.
It was number one.
Yeah, except for in Britain when they I think they banned it. I don't think they were allowed to play it.
No, they didn't. And it was the number one in the United States. I don't care about what songs chart in the UK.
Okay, fair enough.
I only care about the Billboard in America.
Mm.
Just remember, I'm proud to be an American.
Right.
Right.
We just covered this, Liz. Get with the program.
Taking it back. I'm with you.
What's funny is that like you're gonna look at look up the lyrics to "Silent Running" by Mike and the Mechanics, and you're gonna wonder how did this ever make it on the radio, let alone make it to number one? Because it's so like fuck authority, grab the gun.
Yeah, rise up.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty anarcho.
Teach children quietly, man. That someday sons and daughters are gonna rise up while we stood still.
Well, yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that sounds like it's singing from our handbook.
So I'm like, well, I'm being quiet because I'm like eyeballing Liz saying, "Say something."
I did. I said all the things.
That's all you got to say.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going back to those dark ages, Liz, where you didn't talk at all.
Oh, I have no intention of going back to that.
Well, if I could, I don't know this. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'll contribute my libertarian song. I don't even know if this is. I could probably think of something better, but "All I Want" by The Offspring.
Oh, okay.
I'm interested in that.
Day after day, your life's a wreck. The powers that be just breathe down your neck. Back off your rules. Oh, back off your jive. Good use of the word jive.
Sure.
Because
Is that a
I'm
race
sick
thing?
of not living to stay alive. I don't know.
Liz, is that a race thing?
I don't think so. No.
Speak for your people.
Yeah, right. No, I never got that vibe out of them. I do remember the song though. I remember like being like 12 or something and be like, yeah.
Oh,
No, I meant as a racist.
I'm gonna go with no. I'm going with no.
Black person said no, we're good.
Okay, we're good.
I can't speak for all of the brown people in the world though. Just for the record.
Look, the SJWs want you to speak for all black people, unless they don't like your opinion.
Right. In which case you speak for, I don't know.
You're a pawn of white supremacy.
Basically, yeah. You're a Russian bot.
You know, we
And
got
we-
married so that I could have a slave of my own, right? Legal bondage, as they call it.
And how's that working out?
I'm gonna be honest, it's sweet. She's great.
Nice. Okay.
I
Good deal.
only regret is I couldn't have bought two.
Oh, for the love of God.
That's like why did I waste the Saturday night doing this? That was the most ridiculous thing ever. I don't want anyone to ever hear the ridiculous shit that guy said on a microphone while I was on the other end of it.
Well, the sad thing is I've heard your podcasts, so I knew full well
You knew what you were in for.
what was coming. So I have no one else to blame.
There you go.
I'm gonna be honest. A lot of it makes the cutting room floor because I'm like, I don't know. Do I really want to put that out there? So bear in mind, what makes it to the episode isn't always
Oh my gosh. I can only imagine what's on the cutting room floor then.
a lot of screeds about Lou Rockwell, Stefan Molyneux, and what's his name? Thaddeus Russell.
There you go.
I will yell about them any chance I get.
And sending inappropriate pictures to racists. That whole thing.
Oh no, I want them all to know. I guess it's probably the easiest way to get porn of me and Liz is if you were to like call in and say racist shit. So
Oh gosh. Okay, well I am if I was ever thinking about doing that, I'm definitely not going to do that.
I mean, you wouldn't be the first. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
And I never actually send it, but I think about it. I think, God, how disgusted would they be if I just sent them pictures of me fucking you, babe? I don't know if they'd be disgusted enough. I can't get into the headspace of it all, like, because I think you're beautiful, and I think we do and have is beautiful. So somebody being racist and like thinking it's gross bothers me. I can't get in there.
I don't know. Racism is weird. What are you gonna do?
It is. It is. I heard interview, I don't know if you all are Rogan fans. One of his recent interviews was with
jeez.
a guy, what's his Daryl?
Look, he was canceled, Matt.
Yeah, no, I know. But this was before he was canceled. I think it was like right before he was canceled. Oh no, well, I don't know. Maybe this was after he fell out of the good graces with the.
Anita Sarkeesian just posted a video about it today, I think.
How did he get canceled? Now I'm curious.
Because he said good things about Bernie Sanders once.
Oh, okay, right on.
And then Bernie mentioned it.
Okay. So he had some guy named Daryl. Did he have another brother named Daryl?
Yes.
He had Daryl Davis on?
I think that's who it was.
I love Daryl Davis.
Wait, well, the guy that wrote the book about the KKK.
He collects KKK robes.
Yes, that's the guy. That was an amazing story. I didn't totally agree with all of his conclusions, but I loved what he did.
He actually has a really good documentary they did following him around.
Oh, cool.
What's intense is actually watching him talking to some young black men and getting in an argument with them over his method.
Oh, yeah. No, I could see that.
You know, because talking to white supremacists is fucked up, and he needs to learn his lesson.
Yeah, no, I could see that making some people angry.
Yeah.
I think he's converted more KKK members than they have. So
True.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the peaceful protest of like MLK or like Gandhi or Jesus. I mean, all that kind of love your enemies kind of thing, like actually sitting and listening to them. I just think it's amazing that he did that.
So are you good at extricating the bad stuff from the good stuff with, popular, we'll say historical figures?
I would like to think so. Yeah, I try to look for the good in certain figures, but not like ignoring. I don't want to like ignore the bad things.
So Gandhi being a child molester and all that.
Ooh, I am not familiar with that aspect of him. Okay, could you enlighten us?
I mean, there's just, a lot of talk of him having been in bed with 13-year-old girls. He was testing himself.
Now that you bring that up, I feel like I've heard that before, but I don't really know his story, but
or MLK being what MLK was.
Yeah. No, that's not cool. Yeah, sleeping around and everything.
I mean, I feel like when it comes down to it, like these people are humans. Like they might have had really good ideas and they might have spread some good messages, but in the end, like
Oh, he spread something.
yeah, you can't like put them on a pedestal and forget that they're humans, and humans sometimes have really dumb ideas or dumb habits or whatever.
A pedal
Yeah.
stool?
Pedestal, sorry.
I know. What is that from? The pedal stool joke.
I don't
You thought it was pedal stool? Yeah, it's pedal stool.
It's so random,
I've watched entirely too much media in my life. That's all it is.
I guess.
Like, I'm referencing things that nobody else knows, and that's the beauty of it. I'm just over here in my own little world of I've watched more movies than people should ever watch.
It's funny when you start looking into that. I signed up for some movie review thing, and like when I started listing the number of movies that I've seen in my life, I'm like, God, what was I doing with all that time? It's horrifying. It's like 500 hours of just movies.
Liz, I have that many John Cusack movies up there. And if you want to listen to something entertaining, go listen to me talk about High Fidelity with the Actual Anarchy guys.
Ooh. Okay, I'll have to check that out. I liked that movie. I'll have to. I don't know if I've heard. I think I've heard their podcast before.
All they do is talk movies from an ANCAP perspective.
Yeah, I like that.
When it was all said and done, we had I told Liz we had like a 3-hour conversation about it. I think an hour of it makes the episode.
It's impressive.
I don't know how many times this happened, but Robert looked at me twice. And he's like, "You know way too much about this stuff," and I'm like, "I'm libertarian. That's what we do."
Obsessed over Cusack movies.
I mean, just obsess over things in general, but Cusack.
Oh,
I
okay,
could be.
okay. I'm with you then. Yeah.
What are you obsessed with, Matt?
I think I probably am obsessed with libertarianism and podcasts and music. So kind of all the stuff we've been talking about. Yeah, it's kind of my obsession.
What I'm surprised at is Matt doesn't listen to This Week in Liberpods and then email every one of those shows every week and say, "Hey, would you like to buy a jingle?"
Well, maybe he will now.
That is kind of surprising.
5 new libertarian podcasts every week. If you start at the beginning, you'd have what's 5 times 18?
Yeah, that's I'm really doing this wrong, but I appreciate the tip.
I could just send you the list.
Be cool, dude.
There's over
No,
160 now.
I'll tune in. I don't think I've heard that one yet, but yeah, I've heard you talking about it. So
It's just a clip show of libertarian shows. So like 5 minutes of 5 different libertarian podcasts because I want everyone to find their new favorite.
mhm.
It's
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool idea. It's a cool concept.
I'm looking at Liz again.
yeah, I know. I just hear clip show and I'm thinking like the very special 80s clip show episode of Libertarian Podcasts. That's where my brain goes. I'm sorry.
All right, I think Liz and I are both hitting like we need to go to bed time, aren't we?
Bro.
Yeah, we tend to be early folks in our house too.
Oh, I'm not. I'll take a nap and then I'll be up till 4 or 5 in the morning, but it is what it is. Matt, thank you so much for coming on. It was a lot of fun to actually get to talk to you for the first time. Like I said, I've been aware of you. I think I may even be subscribed to your email, Matt Bankert Music, whatever it is. And so occasionally I get those. But this is the first time I've ever actually talked to you, so there's that. What do you want to send people away with? You got some place you want them to visit and go buy jingles from you?
Yeah, jingles are us. Yeah, you could go to my webpage, which is www.mattbankert.com. And for listeners of your show, I'll put a link up there, mattbankert.com/peace, and you can get a free song. But that's where I try to put all my stuff.
Wow, that's actually impressive.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sure as hell not doing that. After the Freedom of Song 365 project, I don't spend time like that anymore. I learned my lesson. I did not make near enough money off of that project.
Oh,
For the
yeah.
amount
Oh,
of time that thing involved.
don't get me wrong. I don't spend any time on my website, but it is. I mean, it's there.
So, all right, Matt. Well, Liz, do you want to come and use the microphone to say anything to Matt before we go?
I just want to say thanks for coming on the show. It's nice to meet you.
Well, thank you too, very much. Nick and Liz, great talking to you. Great to meet y'all. Love what y'all are doing.
Thanks a lot, boss. Well, you go and have a good Saturday night and say hello to the family.
Will do.
It was a secret. No one to speak. Goes down so alive. I felt uneasy. I made a run from the room behind the glass.
All right, babe. So, what were your thoughts on that their interview?
Man, it's been a while since we had a musician on, but it is a different dynamic, and I like it.
Was it everything that you were expecting it to be?
It was definitely more than I expected it to be, or at least different. But no, it's good. It's good.
We had a lot of technical difficulties, and that was kind of annoying.
Yeah, that was definitely something that made it more interesting.
I hope people are weathering out these couple episodes with us, because we do come out of the woods at a certain point here where I think we finally figured out the way that the new normal works.
Yep.
And a lot of it's because I'm trying to eventually get us to have some, video content. And I'd like to, make more of that available to people. But to do that, I got to make sure I have everything set up to record properly, where I'm getting good audio, I'm getting good video, and everything's firing on all cylinders. That's a lot of moving parts for a dummy like me.
It's certainly a lot of moving parts. I'll give you that.
Well, so again, I'd like to remind you, stop on over to peacefreaks.com and check out the show notes, and you can learn about all the stuff that we talk about, get notes to all of our guests. Also, once again, upgradetheshow.com will allow you to help us keep the lights on here doing this old podcasting thing, because believe it or not, it's not free. It costs money, and I don't got a lot of that. I'm poor. I'm a libertarian. You know how that works. So, if you ain't got anything else to bring to the table, Liz, I think that was it for today.
All right, yeah. Check us out on the socials, and we'll see you guys around.
Keep it freaky, folks.
Make it magical.
This podcast is a proud creation of the Mad Audio Lab. For more information, check out madaudiolab.com. Peace Freaks is part of the Liberty Hippie Podcast Network. If you like what we do, be sure to check out Homesteads and Homeschools, Free Markets Green Earth, Cannabis Heals Me, and This Week in Liberpods. We're living proof that libertarian doesn't mean washed up Republican.